The Witcher, one of the greatest video games of all time. It took the internet by storm and became a staple in the video game community. Critics and gamers alike yelled it out loud.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is one of the greatest video games of all time.
We're not talking about that game today. I'm gonna assume most of you watching this video are already familiar with the Witcher franchise. Maybe you're a huge nerd and have read the original book series by world-famous Polish man Andrzej Sapkowski. A more likely situation is that you've watched the recent Netflix original. Or even a more likely situation is that you've played or seen this game.
Hey! I said we're not talking about The Witcher 3 today.
So yeah, I'm a gamer. And that means that I have played The Witcher 3. And if anyone says that they haven't, then they are not a real epic gamer. But, did you ever notice the small little detail in The Witcher 3 box art where it says the number 3 on it? Implying that there would hypothetically be, somewhere buried long ago in the depths of an unnamed valley, the video game's Witcher 2? And maybe perhaps dare I even say it, The Witcher 1? Well, if you did, good on you, because so did I, and thus, I embarked on a long and arduous journey to unearth these ancient lost treasures, so that modern society could be blessed with the legendary prequels to one of the greatest video games in the history of mankind. And there it was, The Witcher 1. Now, instantly, when you launch this game, you are reminded very aggressively that this is not a new game, thanks to the giant Atari logo that gets burned into your retina. Then CD Projekt Red hops in to say hi, BioWare just takes a peek and swiftly exits, and boom, the game begins. The first thing you see is this beautiful cutscene. Honestly, the first frame of it is enough for you to forget that this game was made in 2007.
His name was Geralt of Rivia.
And then the humans come and become slightly more apparent, but still, it looks good. And it gets you properly hyped up for the game. So this initial cutscene is supposed to be Geralt's sort of origin story, not so far back as to how he became a Witcher and whatnot, but it's said that this is how he came to be the famed Geralt of Rivia. What you're seeing right now is a very horribly spliced up together, mangled version of the cutscene, because I don't want to show the full thing because it's very long, but you can find the entirety of it on YouTube if you want.
Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.
And that's when the game starts.
Before we begin the first act of the story, there's a sort of a prologue, very similar to the one in The Witcher 3, that takes place in Kaer Morhen. As you go through the tutorial and learn the basic controls, Kaer Morhen is attacked by a group of bandits. These Twinkie Dinkies are obviously no match for you and your Witcher buddies, but they've also got a powerful mage with them who's got a big bad monster under mind control. Luckily, you've got Triss Merigold by your side, who's also a very powerful mage, and nothing else. You notice that as these fellas are barging in through the main gate, there are two other fellas behind you who have managed to flank you somehow, and they're currently entering the main castle. One of them is a mysterious mage that Triss does not recognize, and the other one is a guy that they're just gonna simply call the Professor. Not this one. And so they go into the main castle, and then they shut the gate behind them. And so Geralt is tasked to go clear the castle of the bandits while the others hold the front line, and then to come back and open the gate for the rest of them. So you fight your way through the bandits as you clear the castle and get to the gate and let the others in. It's pretty basic tutorial stuff. Then you have to go into the castle with this other novice witcher called Leo, and then go down to the lab and check out what the unknown mage and the Professor are up to. But just when you reach the mage, who has an extremely hot voice, by the way, I'm gonna digress for a second, but like, can I add? I know Geralt has that deep voice and stuff, but this mage? Listen to this guy speak!
Would have them all, leaving none for you. Did the sight of a single witcher, White Wolf himself, instill fear?
Anyways, so the mage casts a magic barrier of some kind, and then you can't go into the lab, so you and Leo are just left standing there like, now what? Well, the what is that now you gotta get out of there and go back out and get Chris and then bring her back here so that she can break the aforementioned magic barrier created by the sexy wizard. Except there's one problem. The stairs that go back out are blocked due to fallen rocks. Would you look at that? Plot points. And so Leo is like, just use Ard, forehead, use the Witcher signs. But remember that initial cutscene? The one that ended with, Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. Yeah, it turns out Geralt was believed to be dead, and then when they found him and brought him back to Kaer Morhen, he had lost all of his memory.
Okay, so I know it's not the most original idea making your player character not remember anything so that the player and the character discover the world together, but I still like it, and I think it works fine here in this situation.
But anyways, so Geralt doesn't remember anything, including the Witcher signs. So the game uses this obviously as an opportunity to introduce this brand new mechanic to the player as Leo teaches Geralt how to use Ard.
And for those of you who are still confused and don't know what I'm talking about, here's a quick and brief explanation of what signs are in the Witcher universe. Everyone caught up? Perfect! So, Geralt learns how to use Ard, clears the way, we go back to the gang, and go get Chris Marigold.
This is where Geralt, is faced with the first impactful decision of the game. Either stay on the surface and help Vesemir fight the powerful mage's monster, or go down to the lab with Triss and Leo to stop the professor and mage from robbing it. Now, I personally decided, purely out of strategic intent, and based on an analytical assessment of the situation, that going to assist Triss Marigold down in the lab would prove more useful to the plan than staying on the surface to help Vesemir fight the beast. This is because Vesemir is a very strong witcher, and I know that he can obviously and easily defeat the beast without my humble help. And my decision was definitely not influenced by Triss Marigold's character model's assets. It was not, I tell you. And also Eskiel and Lambert, two of the other Witchers, also stayed to help Vesemir, so it's not like I was leaving him alone against this big guy, alright? Anyways, so we go down to the lab. On the way, there's a bunch of more of the bandits, along with the mage, who also had mind-controlled the monster. Apparently, he just left the monster around, and Vesemir's fighting with the monster, but the mage himself is here. Anyways, we beat him, Geralt deals with him without issue, no problem. However, by the time we get to the lab, we find Triss on the ground, saying that she underestimated the mage, and that he's powerful.
And so with slight intimidation in our step, we as Geralt and Leo go down the stairs and catch the professor and the mage in the middle of stealing Witcher mutagens. But before you can stop them, a cutscene plays and well, I'll just let you see for yourself.
I hear witches can parry bolts in flight. Let's see.
Leo, stop!
Ah! Another fairy tale.
So the mage and the professor take the mutagens and just dip, killing Leo as well as a parting gift. How nice of them. Wonderful. For those of you who have played The Witcher 3, Leo's death wouldn't seem as much of a surprise, considering that we see all of these characters come back in that game, except there's never any mention of a Leo. So, you know, that kind of lessened the effect for me, considering I had played The Witcher 3, but it was still a surprise when the professor shot Leo, you know, like I wasn't expecting the guy to just die there. Anyways, before we get to mourn Leo's death, Vesemir tells us to go gather ingredients to prepare a healing potion for Triss. Makes sense, she's not dead, but if we don't make the potion, she could be. Meanwhile, Leo's already dead, so, you know, do the potion before you cry over Leo's death. Makes sense. So we scoured the entire castle looking for the ingredients, learning some more lore through hidden books and chests and through dialogue with the gang. And bada beep, bada boom, bim bada bim, zimzalabim, one healing potion coming right up for Miss Marigold. And so we go up to her room to give her the potion, and she instantly starts feeling better. So much so that she literally asks Geralt if he wants to engage in unspeakable acts of romance before heading out to see the others.
Now that Triss is back up and feeling well, a little too well maybe even, the gang all get together for Leo's funeral, during which we all decide we need to track down who the bandits are. Based on the little information that we have, which is basically just the fact that they were wearing a salamander symbol on them. Vesemir takes a Scooby-Doo approach and says that we should split up to cover more ground. So, Eskel says he'll go west, Lambert goes east, Geralt goes south to Vizima, while Triss says that she'll just try to use her influence to find the bandits. Like, what does that mean? She's just gonna record a YouTube video and say, yo guys, if you find the bandits, let me know, guys, 100 gifted subs to anyone who finds them. Like, I don't know. And then she says that if she learns anything, she'll contact us, Geralt.
And just like that, we are done with the prologue. The prologue? That was just a prologue? Yep, this is a Witcher game after all. Did you think we were here for a short adventure? Nope, The Witcher 1 is set to have 35 hours of gameplay, baby. Woo! And this was just the first video. Don't worry, the video on chapter 1 will come out not soon at all because I'm very slow at making these. But when it does come out eventually, and if you don't want to miss it, go down and hit that subscribe button. And you know, if you're feeling really invested in the story, why not also hit that notification bell while you're at it? Hey, no pressure though. Alright, I gotta get out of here before the cops find me. I've planted multiple bombs on their official government-operated buildings, and they should be going off right about now.